good. I'll go through my pickdems as well. Let's get through our pickdems. So we have, okay. So this is my pickdems for 2017 Worlds. I think SKT is one of the best teams at Worlds in Group A. They're definitely gonna make it out. They could go second, they could go first, doesn't really matter. I'm pretty confident they'll go out. Then second we have Edward Gaming. I put them second because I think they're slightly better than Cloud9, but let's be honest, I would not be surprised if Cloud9 makes an upset. I think these two can be either way. Probably give like 50-50, 45, very, very close. And then we have 8HQ, which is just not going to make it in my opinion. I don't think they're good enough. I don't see 8HQ making it, sadly. Group B, we have Long2 Gaming, one of my favorite teams because they have a mechanical skilled top laner. I like mechanics. I like top laner with mechanics, and Khan is probably the best top laner at Worlds in that regard. I'm going to put them first. They're one of the favorites to win the tournament. And, well, they're just better than the competition. Immortals, Fnatic, they can't just stack up with them. Same with Gigabyte Marines. Second, we have Immortals and Fnatic. I do think Immortals is slightly better than Fnatic. It's not a massive difference, but I think with the way they play as a team, it's slightly better. Fnatic can make a surprise. I think Fnatic for me is one of the bottom teams at the tournament, but it's one of the bottom teams with the most, how to say, they have the highest chance of making insane upsets, and they have the highest chance of actually making it into the top 4. I think Fnatic could make it into top 4 if they have the most amazing run ever, but as a realistic statement right now, I will put them in the bottom 5 probably of the teams at Worlds right now. They're not one of the best teams. They're very likely to not perform their best. They're very likely to choke. They're very likely to have problems and not perform at their absolute best. But if they do have the most amazing run, they could actually make a very fine tournament, which would surprise a lot of people. Gigabyte Marines, one of the most underrated teams at the tournament in my opinion. I think they have a good shot at making it far. I think Gigabyte Marines is probably, like last time there was Worlds. Oh no, MSI, sorry. Last time it was MSI World, something like that. I used to bet a lot on Gigabyte Marines because they made a lot of upsets. Nobody believed in them. All the betting sites were against them. And I was like, well, these guys are a bunch of free cash. They're very good. Very likely to make upsets. I do pick them on Fnatic and Immortals, but I don't think the difference is that big. I think this is very close, all the teams there. This is just my personal opinion that of how close they are, right? And which spots they deserve. Alright, Group C, Samsung Galaxy. I love Kuve. I told you guys I love mechanical top laners. Kuve is another genius in the top lane with very good individual mechanics. I think Kuve is going to be amazing. I think Samsung Galaxy is going to be amazing. And I think they're going to be a very good team of Worlds. Royal Never Grow Up. I think they're good, but I don't think they're going to be far above the competition. I think they're going to be around the same as G2 Esports. Slightly better again. I will say they'll make it out of the group, because they're the better team. But G2 does have a chance, right? They do still have a chance. It's a slimmer chance than Fnatic had, but they do have a chance. Then we have Fenerbahce, or Fenerbahce, whatever I call them. I do think this team will not make it out of groups. They have a chance to make upsets. They can definitely win games, but they're not going to win enough games to get out of the group stages. They're not a terrible team. They're a pretty good team, especially for a wildcard team. From the wildcard regions, or whatever they're called nowadays. But they're just not good enough to stack up against the competition. The competition is very fierce, especially in the group. The group is not easy. And then we have the last group of the tournament, Group D, the big Ds. This group is a coin toss. I think World is the best team, TSM second best, Misfits third, and then Flash Wolves fourth. But all of these teams can make it out of the group. All of these teams can get fourth. Every single team can choke, can play worse than their opponents. I think Team World Elite is the best one, slightly above the rest. I think TSM is slightly weaker. They'll probably have around 25% chance of getting out, maybe 26, 27, something around that, right? They have a good chance of making it out, with World Elite having like 30+% chance. Then I think Misfits. Misfits is very good. They have very good individual players, but I think the mid and jungle players are lacking in comparison to TSM. That's why I'm putting them under TSM. I think the bot lane is slightly stronger, like 52, 48, something like that. Very, very tiny, but they're slightly stronger than TSM's, almost the same. And then we have the top lane. I think Alphari is better than Hornsa. I watched a bunch of replays from both of them in solo queue. I watch the tournaments, and I know both the players. I like both the players a lot. They're probably some of my favorite players in EU and NA. So I will definitely put Alfari above Haunter. He is much better mechanically. But the problem is top lane isn't so dependent on mechanics unless you're at Khan's level. And I'm not sure if Alfari will be able to use that to his advantage, which is why I'm putting TSM above, because I do think Bjergsen and Svensson is going to use their advantage of being the better players in their roles. And I'm not sure if Alfari will actually manage to make much of a difference between Haunter and him. And then Flash Wolves fourth. Still a very good team that can definitely make it, but you got to put somebody last, and in this case it's going to be Flash Wolves. I don't think they're much worse than competition. I think these three teams are almost equal, with TSM taking a good lead in the quality. And then these two teams are pretty much even, with Misfits just having a slight lead. Also, one thing that you guys might notice is that I put EU third. I don't think a single European team is going to make it out groups. It is possible for upsets. As I said, Fnatic have a chance of making it very far in the tournament because their team have incredibly stacked individual talent. I just don't think they'll be there as a team. I don't think they're going to make it as a team. And I think they're too weak. G2 have... I think they lack the individual talent in that team. Some people maybe be surprised by that. I think Perks is good. I think Sven is really good. I think Miffy is alright. I think Expect and Trick are alright as well. But I do think they lack a little bit more carrying from one more role, right? I think we need to see a very good Expect, Trick, or Miffy for them to make it really fun in the tournament. If we do see one of those three players step up, then it's possible. But if we don't see it, then I don't think they'll get very far, and I don't think they'll get out of group. But again, it is definitely possible. And then last, we're talking about Misfits. We've all talked about Misfits, not going to go over that again. I think that's good.